Miami Dolphin fans, what's going on? Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and the NFL Draft is less than a week away. So you know what I figured I'd do? I'm going to give you an updated look at the Miami Dolphins' biggest draft needs. We're going to go from 1, and we're going to work our way all the way down to number 10. So here, we're going to kick the show off with the biggest draft need for Miami. I'm going to go with the wide receiver position, and if you want to get a little bit more, we'll say, exact, the slot wide receiver position, because you obviously already have Will Fuller, you have Devontae Parker, but I think if they want to go out and add another talent there that they could add in the slot, maybe a big-time slot, I think that'd be pretty interesting. So some of the top wide receiver prospects out there, and luckily for Miami, you have so many draft picks, 4 in the top 50, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, I think they're all going to be options for you at pick number 6. Rashad Bateman, Kadarius Toney, they're obviously going to be options at pick number 18. However, I don't see Miami going in that direction. Let's go to the second biggest need for this team. We're going to stick on the offensive side of the football, running back. Miami really struggled last season being able to run the football. Now, do I think Myles Gaskin did a phenomenal job for the talent he had and the offensive line? Yeah, I think he did a pretty good job. They averaged 3.6 yards per carry, I believe, 3.9 yards per carry. Basically, bottom 5 in the NFL. 5 different running backs started for this football team. And for what Brian Flores has said, they want to have a bell cow running back. Now, when I hear the name bell cow, I think of the top guy here on my list. It's Najee Harris. And if you want to go ahead and get him, I think you might actually have to take him at pick number 18 because I don't know if he falls past the Pittsburgh Steelers at 24. I don't think he falls to pick number 36. But if you do want to roll the dice and go with pick 36, maybe Travis Etienne's there. If you want to wait a little bit longer in the second round, Javonte Williams is a guy I like a lot. Kenneth Gainwell is probably not much of a bell cow back, however, does have some pretty good speed there. And then Michael Carter, a running back that I know Miami likes from their time working with him at the Senior Bowl. So today's video is all around trying to figure out the biggest draft need for Miami. And what I want you to do is go down in the comments section, whether you see this video on YouTube, whether you come across it on Facebook, I want you to let me know down in the comments, what do you think the Dolphins' biggest draft need is? Number 3 on my list, I'm going to go edge rusher here. So we're going to go to the defensive side of the football. Losing Kyle Van Noy hurts. It definitely does. However, not that Kyle Van Noy is an exceptional pass rusher. I also think Emmanuel Ogbah did a pretty good job last season. We'll be able to see what a guy like Van Ginkel is going to be able to bring to the table here. But if you're Miami, you still need to be able to get some solid edge rushers because if you do decide to run that 3-4, maybe getting an outside linebacker could be something you'd be interested in. So if I'm looking at a guy who can put his hand in the dirt, I'm looking at Jalen Phillips. If I want that outside linebacker role like I was just talking about, I'll go with a guy like Azeez Ojulari. Both Azeez, Jalen Phillips are 2 players that I would definitely take at pick number 18. I know a lot of people like Kwity Paye. He's a great athlete. However, he does have some bust potential to me. Ronnie Perkins is a player I would target at pick number 50. And Joseph Asai, if he's around 81, I'd be shocked. And then picking him at number 50 is an okay move. However, if you are trying to find a player who you can take in round 2, could be a type of a Kyle Van Noy replacement, I do think Joseph Asai is a player to keep an eye on. When you're trying to be able to protect Tua, you need to be able to obviously protect from the interior. Far too often, we only talk about the offensive tackle positions, and I do think offensive guard is definitely something that needs to be said here on today's show, which is why I'm actually going to put it at number 4. The issue for Miami is this. If you don't get your hands on Elijah Vera-Tucker, which maybe out of context, that sounds kind of weird, you're not really going to be happy with some of the other depth. Now, I like Quinn Miners a lot. He's a player in my latest mock draft that I had for the Dolphins. I had him going in 81. But Vera-Tucker, if I'm Miami and he's sitting there at 18, that's probably going to be the pick I end up going. Now, maybe it changes if you decide to go with a Rashawn Slater or a Penei Sewell with one of your first picks. But in terms of overall value, I absolutely love Quinn Myers. Wyatt Davis is a solid name. Deonta Brown, Trey Smith, all solid players. However, it's Elijah Vera-Tucker to me in round 1, and then all those other guys, I'm not taking them until day 2. Now, why should you guys subscribe to Chat Sports? Now, I'm very, very proud to say this because I've been working at Chat Sports since September of 2017, and when I first started, we didn't even have a YouTube channel. And you think about just such a short amount of time, over the last 3 years, okay, 2018, 2019, and 2020, the number 1 most watched draft coverage on YouTube has been from Chat Sports. Now, why are we the number 1 most watched? We have a lot of fun. Analysis on every single pick. We are live for all 7 rounds. It's like 40 straight hours of live coverage. We have fun games going on. We got prizes going on. We're drinking beers. We're doing shots. Heck, you guys are coming on the show with us, analyzing picks. Last year at one time, there was 60,000 people watching live. Our goal this year is to get to 100,000. And probably the best reason, it's 100% free. So in terms of what you're going to get picks before you're going to see them on ESPN, and it's 100% free. A big-time reason to subscribe to Chat Sports. If you don't know where you can find the link, look below. It's chatsports.com. No, that's a lie. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. All right, let's go to the fifth biggest need here. I'm going to go with the center position. Ted Karras decided to move on. You decided to bring in I can never pronounce his name, Secura, and he's an okay center, like in terms of like what he's going to be able to bring. Now, if you want to upgrade at that position, you can go with somebody like a Landon Dickerson, who, sure, he scares me a little bit to ACL injuries, but if you want to go with Creed Humphrey, that's an option in round 2. Quinn Miners, if you remember, you already just saw his picture. He can also play center for you. Josh Myers, Kendrick Green. Green to me is more of a pick at 81 overall. I don't think he'll be there in round 5. Josh Myers is probably same thing, a round 3 type of prospect. But if you're trying to upgrade at center and you want to be able to do it in the first 2 days, I think your best bets are Creed Humphrey or Landon Dickerson. Let's go to the offensive tackle position. You're pretty solid at left tackle with Austin Jackson, who you drafted in the first round last year, but you still got to be able to protect Tua's blind side. And I think it's funny how often, we sit here and we talk about the tackle position, and far too often, when we say right tackle, people don't look at it as they do in other teams. Why? Because Tua's a lefty, and protecting your blind side, that's the important thing. That's why other teams are paying left tackles all this money, because you need to be able to protect your quarterback's blind side. So if we can find somebody that can protect Tua's blind side, that's great. The issues are this, right? And Penei Sewell is phenomenal. Rashawn Slater, you guys know that I absolutely love these 2 prospects, and if it was me, I would actually take Penei Sewell if he's available to me at pick number 6 over just about anyone. Now, let's just say they decide to go another route, maybe a Jamar Chase, maybe a Kyle Pitts, maybe Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle. Does Rashawn Slater slide to you at pick 18? Doubtful. But I do think a guy like Christian Darrisaw, Tevin Jenkins, they're both available to you at number 18. And if you want to wait until maybe pick 36 or pick 50, go Samuel Cosmi. Luckily for Miami, if they don't get a top offensive tackle in the first round, I think OT is one of the more deeper positions in this year's draft class. Linebacker is next up here for me, and when I look at Miami's defense, they need to be able to find a little bit more consistent play on their middle linebackers, their interior linebackers. Sure, Landon Roberts was up and down. If you look at his tackle numbers, he was good, but in terms from an efficiency standpoint, it wasn't 100% there. Now, if you want to tell me who I can find someone that's a versatile linebacker that would fit great in Flores' scheme, I think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is a phenomenal pick. I also know that Brian Flores absolutely loves a guy like Micah Parsons. Now, Camus Grugier-Hill, they ended up losing him. Jerome Baker wasn't good, but he definitely had some sacks, and you traded for Benardrick McKinney, that's great and all, which maybe you're not going to go out and get a guy like Nick Bolton then. But Zaven Collins, if you're looking to replace Kyle Van Noy, absolutely love that value. I am curious to see which linebacker they take. I will say this, I'm very confident they take at least one of the players you see on screen and with one of their top 4 picks. Now, what I'm curious about is this. Where are you guys watching the draft from? Are you going to be in your city right now? I want you to go down in the comments. Let me know what city you're in. I'm currently living in Dallas, Texas, and I'm going to be doing the live NFL draft coverage here at Chat Sports in Dallas, Texas. But I also know Miami Dolphin fans, y'all spread far and wide, and this has been one of the faster-growing channels here at Chat Sports. We're getting close to 14,000 subs. If you haven't yet, click that big red button that says subscribe. But let me know where you're watching the draft from. Let me know where you're watching from right now. I'd appreciate it. Let's go to pick number 8 here. I guess I shouldn't say 8. The biggest need, ranked number 8, it's safety. Safety was an okay role last year. Eric Rowe, I thought, did a pretty good job, and there were certain points where Miami safeties did just enough to get by. I also think they definitely benefited from having Byron Jones and X on the outside, but if you could really upgrade the safety position, this defense doesn't go from being just a top 5, top 6. You're in that top 3, top 2 type of range. Now, some of the top safeties out there in the market, Trevon Merrick from TCU, he's a great option. However, I don't know if he's going to be available realistically to the Dolphins at 18 because the Raiders might take him at 17. Richie Grant's got great ball hawking skills, but he's a little soft in my opinion. Javon Holland has got a lot of versatility. Hamza Nasir Deline is a fun athlete. And then Andre Sisco. If Andre Sisco is there in the 3rd round, some people might take him. However, his tape is a little bit up and down. The 9th biggest need for Miami as we are getting close to the 2021 NFL Draft, I'm going to go tight end. And a lot of times people are like, wait a minute, do they really need a tight end? No, I actually don't really think they do. Mike Gesicki is a very solid option. You got Adam Shaheen, who you were able to bring in, and I know Miami's confident in him. The issue is this. There is this guy named Kyle Pitts who is just like a phenomenal athlete, and I actually don't even know if calling him a tight end is fair to him. I think if we could put offensive weapon, that's kind of what he is. I do like Pat Freiermuth a lot as well, but if you don't get Kyle Pitts at pick number 6, I'm not taking any of those other guys that you see on screen in the first 2 rounds, maybe Pat Freiermuth in round 3, and then he could join his old teammate Mike Gesicki from Penn State. But I'm pretty confident at this point, the number 6 overall pick, if he's there on the board, it's going to be Kyle Pitts. The last position that we're going to bring up here is defensive tackle, and you lost Devon Godchaux, which not really that big of a loss. Like, he's a good player. Do I think New England overpaid for him? Yes, I definitely do. But luckily, when I looked at all the draft needs, I'm like, okay, defensive tackle is not the biggest need. Luckily for Miami, this is probably one of the worst defensive tackle classes I've seen in quite some time. Christian Barmore's a good athlete. He's a good player. He's going to be the only DT taken in round 1, and actually, we could live in a world where there's no defensive tackles taken in the first round. Levi Onwuzurike, another fun prospect. However, I'm not taking him in round 2. Aleem McNeil, Milton Williams, both a little bit undersized, but a lot of athletic traits that you like to see. Davion Nixon, kind of in the same boat here. If you're looking for who I think can be the best nose tackle in a 3-4, it's Christian Barmore. If you want to know who I think might have the highest upside in terms of a late-round sleeper, I might say McNeil or Milton Williams. Now, if y'all made it this far in the video, that means we're doing something right around here, right? If you haven't already, please hit that big red button that says subscribe. And if you want more free videos around the Miami Dolphins, please look down below underneath the video. You see that thing that says subscribe? Click that. And once you do, if you take that link also below and send it to some friends, because I want to get the 14K subs, and we're about 100 away. So let's help out. Let's go. You guys can do it. All right, I got to get out of here.